What do you want to accomplish in your final season?
A really good season of Doctor Who. I don't have any interest in sort of making it some sort of grand goodbye, because as I keep pointing out, the vast majority of our huge audience don't know I exist. So if I wave from the balcony, they will look at me blankly. So I just want to make a great season. That's it. Nothing more than that.
You've been writing for Doctor Who in one form or another for so long. How do you keep coming up with fresh, new ideas? I mean, I think the last season was one of the strongest of the rebooted series to date.
Well, thank you. And I was incredibly pleased with last series. I thought that was a really strong run, I thought. How do you keep... I mean, Doctor Who is inexhaustible. It's not any great energy of mine. It's the fact that Doctor Who's own format and that character and that predicament and that view of the universe never grows stale in your hands. That's not because of my hands, it's because of the idea that it came from all those years ago. It works so beautifully. You'll never run out of Doctor Who stories to tell.
And I know you can't tell me spoilers or anything, so that's not what I'm asking, but there's of course a lot of talk about with you leaving, would 12 regenerate or not? What are the pros and cons of doing a regeneration? And is your leaving even a reason to do something like that?
Well, me leaving has got no impact on a regeneration, nothing at all. There's no reason why that should be the case. I suppose it happened the last time, and that's why people are thinking that way. But if you look back in the history of the show, producers and and doctors, they leave at different times. There's no need for those two things to be in sync, as it were. What are the pros and cons of regenerating the Doctor? Look, people get far too relaxed about this kind of thing. It's terrifying. You are straightforwardly recasting the lead in a television show, right? All right, we've got a magic reason why it works, but it's terrifyingly hard. And people talk about it as if it's, you just go and find another Doctor. It's not. And every time you do it, you could be walking into the abyss. Remember Alias Smith and Jones,
What can you tell me about Bill? What were you looking for in the new companion? And how did you want to differentiate Bill from Clara?
Well, I didn't think in terms of differentiating her from Clara because she's playing a different part. She's no connection. She never even meets Clara. You actually... So much of Doctor Who, and I know it's always controversial to say, but so much of it is the story of the Doctor's best friend. People will say, well, it's called Doctor Who. It's not called The Doctor. It's called Doctor Who. Who's asking that question is as much the story as the person of whom the question is asked. So with Bill, we just wanted a different attitude to him, a different way of them meeting, which I won't talk about yet, a different way their relationship develops, and for someone who challenges him in different ways, I suppose the differentiation, not that it was planned or anything, is that Clara was always a bit like the Doctor, a bit of a fish out of water in the real world. Far more interested in jumping inside the blue box than having a boyfriend. She was always a bit like him. Bill's got a lot else going on. She's got a whole other life. She's fascinated by the Doctor and intrigued by him, has got lots of questions of him, but she's not cut from his cloth at all.
And I know, last question, again, not asking for spoilers, but could we just talk a bit about the dynamic between the Mistress and the Doctor, which was one of the brilliant recent... Yeah, Missy.
Okay, Missy. Well, I mean, I would argue in a weird way that the dynamic is the one that's always been there between the Master and the Doctor and now Missy and the Doctor. I wish I knew. If somebody write in and tell me how I handle the gender pronouns sensitively and correctly, because I don't know what to do. Really, I walk around saying he or she, him, her. Please, somebody tell me. I'd like a crib sheet I can work from. The dynamic between the Doctor and that character has always been actually fundamentally friendship. They actually like each other. If you look at the Roger Delgado, John Pertwee episodes, what they did so brilliantly, and it's clearly an acting decision, was never play it with animosity or dislike. Always play it with mutual affection and interest, even as they try and kill each other. And they never try and kill each other too hard. As was pointed out in the most recent appearance, the Doctor knew perfectly well he wasn't killing her in Death in Heaven. He knew it all along. So it's about friendship between people who have to fight because they stand on opposite sides of a moral divide. But that moral divide is not so huge that they don't smile across it.